By all means, let me have a look. Yes, we're very close.
Hello everyone, I'm Dean.
He's Dean.
That's Donnie.
I'm Donnie.
There's our AD.
Jesus. You poor man.
Alright, anyways, let's continue playing some more Ghost Trick. Who do I want to talk to first? Weirdo or Lynn?
I imagine it might be the same conversation.
Sure. Alright, let's do it.
Here in this park, the gods surely control fate!
Here in this park, I am here in this park.
Today, 10 years from that day, we meet once again. If that isn't the power of the gods, then what else is it?
It could just be coincidence. But apparently you know our lady detective here. Could you tell us about it? About what happened 10 years ago?
Yes, of course! I was actually just about to do that.
Oh man.
What is this Rock of the Gods you keep mentioning?
Detroit Rock City. Don't you know? It's right there, in front of us.
Oh, it said that fountain. Fountain's
Someone
seen better days.
Please take care of this poor dog.
Oh, doggle.
Missile. Wait a minute. You say G-O-D-S, but do you mean D-O-G-S?
Of course not. Don't be silly. This is no time for ridiculous word games. You are standing just above the Rock of the Gods now. Take a good look at that monument.
Monument? Rock of the Gods, Temsik Park. The Rock of the Gods.
They actually called it that?
Apparently.
The rock is buried in the ground right there. It's been there these 10 years. Ever since that day, it flew down from the heavens and showed us a miracle!
A miracle? You mean to tell me nobody's ever dug up this friggin' meteor?
Yeah,
Like
right?
analyze or something?
A meteor was a huge find. Yeah, no, you'd think. So this rock you've been talking about is a meteorite?
Precisely! It dropped from the sky on that day 10 years ago! Yes, of course! Surely you know all about it!
Me?
Uh-oh.
That day, I just happened to be passing through this park. I had no idea that day would change my destiny. The sun was going down, and through the gloom, I heard the scream of a little girl. Ah! Now just calm down and drop that weapon.
Stay back! If you come any closer, I'll shoot her! A mystery man.
Mystery. I peeked out fearfully from the bushes and saw some shadowy figures. I didn't see the face of the criminal clearly. I knew I should do something to help, but I couldn't move. The tension was so thick it was painful. Just when I couldn't stand it any longer. That's when it happened. The sky suddenly burned bluish white. When it crashed into the ground, the meteorite gave off a shower of beautiful fragments. And then I saw it. One of those beautiful fragments pierced into the criminal's back.
Oh my god.
The judgment of the gods was brought down in the park that day. "10 years ago, the little girl that was you was saved by the Rock of the Gods.
Oh my. I can't believe it.
The Rock of the Gods was given the name Temsik, and still today, it lies sleeping deep in the park's earth.
Temsik.
Jesus.
I never knew about this Temsik. I always thought Detective Jowd was the one who saved me.
You were very young then, and you passed out from the shock of being taken hostage. Of course you wouldn't remember."
But that's funny. A huge incident like that should have caused quite a stir. It's strange you never heard of it, Lynne.
It is, isn't it? But now that I think about it, I remember that I didn't want to think about what happened. I avoided the news and I never came back to this park again. That's why I didn't know anything about it.
The meteorite was named Temsik after the name of this park it fell in. And then the Rock of the Gods was forgotten. Now an awful thing is happening! They're talking about turning this park into a housing site! I'll never forget the miracle I witnessed that day.
Who knew this character would be important?
Yeah, right?
And so I've taken up residence in this park, and I'm trying to appeal to the people. Protect the park! The Rock of the Gods! That is my mission!
I see.
Doll.
I'm taking you with me, Missile.
Probably you.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
So 10 years ago, the little girl that was Lynne wasn't aware of the meteorite. I get that. But Detective Jowd, on the other hand, there's no way he didn't know about this Temsik thing. And if he knew...
And the man died. I took his life.
What was that confession of his all about? Rocks of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago changed the destinies of many people's lives, like the ripples on a pond when a pebble is dropped in. With every answer I get, I learn about a new mystery. Will I be able to break the chain of mysteries before dawn? Running out of time. Anyway, now that we have the evidence we need, we decided to meet up again at the minister's office. Besides, there are a few things I want to ask Detective Jowd. And just like that, we're there.
Back. We found the music box, Detective Jowd.
Good job, Lynne. I knew you would. Once everything had been resolved, I wanted to give this to him.
Him? You mean Inspector Cabanello, right?
I don't suppose he'll ever forgive me.
Detective Jowd.
Now then, let's get this thing open. There's a certain knack to doing it, you know.
Yeah?
That.
See?
Yeah? He calls that a knack? Looks more like brute strength to me.
Here you are.
No, don't look down the barrel of that. I don't care if you think it's unloaded.
You should find scorch marks on the grip.
Scorch marks?
When Camilla built her contraption, she used a special kind of string. It's a kind magicians use. It burns up in an instant and disappears.
Why would little Camilla lose something like that?
I don't know. Maybe because she's a detective's daughter. Not leaving any evidence behind and all that. Ha ha!
How did this guy even...
Old gruff.
In the case report,
There you go.
there was a mention of some scorch marks. Who could this
I think
be?
Jowd?
Probably. When it happened, Camilla was watching from her hiding place. She saw the flame run to the gun, something she naturally didn't include in her design. I took the gun out of the frame and replaced it with a picture. If you remove the picture, you should find scorch marks behind it on the frame, too. And those marks should match up with the ones on the gun.
In other words,
It proves the contraption existed there in that room that day.
And it didn't work the way your little girl intended. Is that right?
Exactly. Some cowardly culprit modified the design.
But that angle was never brought up in court. And so, as Justice Minister, I must call off the execution at this point.
I knew I was right. It wasn't Detective Jowd. Now we can finally prove that. Thank goodness.
Thank you, Lynn. In those eyes of yours, I see the eyes of that little girl from 10 years ago.
All right, let's go. I hate to do this.
Let's
to you,
go
but-
bother everybody.
Let's go bother everyone, though.
What? We're gonna go. Okay.
He's got some insight on everyone.
What's the matter? I just don't know. What should I have done 5 years ago?
Back then, nobody had any way of knowing the true nature of the manipulator. It wasn't anybody's fault that we didn't know the truth.
Do you really think so?
Of course. Besides, what's important right now is deciding what to do next. Am I right?
She's right, Mr. Minister.
Yes, of course. I do believe she is. What is it now? I just don't know. What should I do next?
You'll figure it out. We believe in you.
This man, why doesn't he see?
All right, Jowd.
We're truly sorry for your loss. Sissel, if you hadn't come to my cell tonight, I would be gone by now without ever having known any of this. This is what I deserve. That's what I told myself these past 5 years. But things are different now. Thanks to you, my eyes have finally been opened.
Tonight, I've come into contact with a lot of people's lives and got involved in their fates. And the only reason I was doing it was to regain my own lost memory. But things are different now. We're connected to each other somehow. I just know it. And that's why I need to ask you a few more questions. In order to find the truth about us.
Fair enough. Fire away.
Sissel told me all about it, Detective Jowd. About the manipulator.
Yes, and it looks like this manipulator did a number on the minister, too.
Please don't pick on the minister. If he dies again, I'm the one who has to save him.
Sissel.
Whoa!
From a lot of gastrointestinal distress, okay?
I'm pooping!
He might die from IBS at any moment.
Jesus.
Sissel, do you think that's what happened to me too?
What are you talking about, Lynn? Don't tell me. You were manipulated too?
There was always a part of me that just couldn't believe it. The image of the one... Oh. That's you, sorry.
The image of the one who shot me. But now I see the possibility of a new explanation.
But... who is it? And why did they do it? That contraption was a birthday surprise for Camilla's mother, wasn't it?
That's right.
Something's been bothering me about it. I feel like I know that device from somewhere.
No surprise there. You lost your life once tonight because of that machine.
Right? I knew it! See, Detective Jowd?
No, I'm afraid I don't see.
I told Detective Jowd about it. Told him about seeing the exact same contraption tonight in a completely different place.
That's very strange indeed. A junkyard on the edge of town? I've never even heard of the place. And once more, I've never told a single soul about that contraption.
You haven't?
That old pigeon guy. Who in the world is he?
Temsik.
Suddenly we're on the other end. Detective Jowd, you must have heard this name before. Temsik. The meteorite that fell in the park 10 years ago. You were there.
So you found out about that, did you?
I hear that meteorite saved little Lynn's life.
That's right. I couldn't do anything to help Lynn that day.
But in that case, I don't get it. If it's true, doesn't it mean you didn't steal somebody's life away?
What are you talking about?
Detective Jowd, you told me that 10 years ago, the person who killed the perpetrator in the park was you.
What? But it was the meteorite.
I wasn't lying. I stole that man's life away, no question about it. It was entirely my fault. I was just about to shoot him. I would have shot him in the next instant if the meteorite hadn't come. At that point, I was already a murderer.
That's not true! You were trying to save me!
Lynn, I'm sorry, but I don't think that's really it.
Huh? Oh boy, here we go.
On that day, 10 years ago, a different incident happened in another place.
Another place?
Yes, in the police headquarters interrogation room. The worst sort of incident. A suspect who was being questioned escaped.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
I happened to be there in the detective division, so I joined the chase. Fortunately, or I guess unfortunately, I was able to track him down alone in the park. Hold it right there! I fired a warning shot. I wanted to catch him bad. That warning shot made him panic. At the time, I was a young and green detective, brandishing my sense of justice like a sword. I made him panic and got you involved, Lynne. It was all my fault.
This friggin' Jowd is like a brick shithouse of a man.
Oh, yeah. Detective Jowd.
Is that why he never had to kill somebody? He could just punch their heads clean off? All I could see was my target. I couldn't even see you. I'm so sorry, Lynne.
Maybe he was the one who needed the white coat.
So the man who grabbed me died that day.
These last 10 years, I've never forgotten his face. And then a few years after that, when my wife Alma died in such a mysterious way, I thought it was fate, my punishment for what I'd done. I understand, but it's like...
Oh, so... what the heck?
What?
So this isn't the face he hasn't forgotten. It's gonna be Sissel's face? My brain.
Yeah, right?
I painted pictures in my cell. Nothing but portraits of people's faces. All the faces of the many people I'd met in my life and didn't want to forget. Hey, it's the fucking Thingus! That's the fucking rock that killed Parkman.
Holy shit,
No,
you're right.
wait, you're right.
Oh shit. Maybe, like, he painted the park?
I guess.
Huh.
I get why he's like kind of stressed out about it, but it is also like, you're a detective. There's a non-0% chance you're gonna have to kill somebody.
Yeah, but he wanted to kill him.
And tonight, I finished my last portrait. The final face I wanted to remember.
Where's the guard that was here for this?
The final face. The face of the man in the park that day.
Wait just a minute. That can't be. I saw that painting. I saw the face you painted tonight. It was my face. Are you telling me I was the man in the park that time?
That's right. The face of yours is the face I saw 10 years ago. The face of the man whose life I stole, of the man who was pronounced dead at the scene.
But hold on, Detective Jowd. That can't be true. I just met Sissel for the first time tonight. And he died right in front of me.
By the way, the name of that I know the man in the park that day by
Jackson.
isn't Sissel.
What?
From the first minute I laid eyes on you tonight, I've been wondering, who in the world is this guy?
I... Oh no. Mr. Minister? Inspector Cabanella, where are you? Just be quiet and listen. This is our demand. What? Demand? Our demand hasn't changed. The execution must be tonight. Once we've confirmed it's been carried out, we'll release the hostage. What are you talking about, Inspector Cabanella? And you know it wasn't my daughter who was abducted. Does it really matter who the hostage is? A life is a life. Even if it's the daughter of a death row prisoner. Ugh. Once the criminal gets the punishment he deserves, the hostage will go free. Carry out the execution immediately and wait for our call.
What is it, Mr. Minister? You look paler than ever.
What in the world? What's going on? Inspector Cabanella. The rock of the gods that fell from the sky 10 years ago twisted the fates of many people and started a chain of tragic events. And even now, the chain continues to grow ever longer. Inspector Cabanella's call proved that to us. And the greatest mystery of all has risen to the surface. Who is this me I've been chasing all night? Who am I? I'm even further from knowing that when I started than when I started. God damn.
The mystery chain doesn't stop from growing taller.
That it does most certainly not. Also, I like that image of the friggin' park. Mm-hmm. The location of Mino is in a different place.
Yeah. Continue? Or pause here? What's up? What do you think?
Gee, I don't know. I guess let's see what comes up next.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. 2:55 a.m. All right, we're back in AM now.
We're in the correct timeline. 10 years ago, a man named Sissel took a little girl named Lynne hostage and then was killed by a meteorite fragment. I mean, did he say specifically his man wasn't Sissel?
No, yeah.
Tonight, a man named Sissel met a detective named Lynne at a junkyard on the edge of town and then was killed by a bullet. But the scene I find waiting for me on the other end of the phone line feels like the final nail in the coffin of my lost memory. There he is! I see myself. So I knew this moment was gonna come. For the first time we had to do the scene in the park 10 years ago, I didn't remember who was there. Mm-hmm. By the second time, I had well remembered.
Right.
And I'd been thinking about this for a while now, how the heck I was going to do this voice.
Sure.
And I never came to a solid conclusion.
It's fair. I understand, sure.
There you are, Commander Sith. Finally.
What was it? All right, because he was voicing the other guy, right?
Yeah, but also... Oh,
I completely forgot.
My aching throat.
I'm so sorry.
Now it's your turn. Suffer like me did?
Sissel! Where have you been, my good man? We've been looking everywhere for you.
Had a little unfinished business to take care of. Didn't think it would take this long. What about your people? They sure went out of their way to mess me up.
I say, I believe we fulfilled every one of your conditions in our little deal. What right do you have to complain about anything outside our bargain?
We can talk about that when we get together.
This will be our last communication by telephone. We'll arrive in 1 hour. I look forward to seeing you, Sissel.
Dawn is approaching. The darkness surrounding my own mystery is deep, but I know it's always darkness before the dawn.
Yes. We're nearing the final stages of our little deal, my good man.
Yes, sir. All preparations are complete, sir. And we just had a report, sir. Lights have been spotted, sir.
Have they now? By all means, let me have a look.
This is a hell of a regal ass setup they got.
Yeah, right?
Yes. We're very close.
We will now disconnect from the communication cable and have no service until we arrive, sir.
Very well.
Goodbye, Periscope. Hardly knew ye. Goodbye, telephone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, did you remember?
Oh, my
Do
God.
you remember?
What the hell?
It also explains why you can't reach it when the phone line is active.
Yeah, right?
Physically disconnected.
Nice try, Inspector Cabanella.
But you could never stop me. See ya, sucker.
See, I think that door's extra high for his fucking pointy ass hair.
Alright, talk to this and then we
Yeah, might as well hit it and we'll get back.
Alright.
So, that submarine guy and his people have a deal going with me, do they? If that's the case, they probably aren't the ones who killed me, right? Anyway, there's definitely something behind the inspector's death. I think I'd better talk to him. And we'll do that next time.
Next time.
I'm somebody who's searching for himself. That's why I'm here to save you. At the very least, you have information about that guy in red. Information I need. So you came on a rescue mission now, did you? Nothing like the sound of that, baby.